Alright, welcome back to another pristine production here. And I want to shout out to all my fans. Let me see if I can bring up real quick. I do apologize, guys. My page was offline. And we're currently hitting, we have hit over 600 subscribers. And I want to shout out to all my fans, all my subscribers. We're coming at 611. Be sure to check out my new music video, Give Thanks for Life, and mix speed art, Belize Beer and Photoshop. And also, if you want to buy VSTs, drum kits, you can purchase at my Pioneer account, this account right here. You can request a product at my email and tell me what instrument you want. I can sell to you for 50 bucks. And today we're going to be talking about the killer instinct of mixing. And this track was demoed, from the Killer Instinct soundtrack, We Rise from TJ Combo. And this is my version of it. So let's talk about it and get right into the Killer Instinct of mixing. So the first thing I want to talk about is when I talk about Killer Instinct of mixing, what is your instinct telling you? What do you need to do when you're giving a session? And this is a basic hip hop kind of rock thing here. So you just don't go crazy to, okay, I'm going to do some EQ. Assess the sound. What does it need? The basic thing I normally do is balance off the sounds. I have a kick drum going. I'm going to look at my faders, make sure I'm not clipping anything here. If I want, I can bring up the input controls as well. So I'm going to listen to the drums there. I'm going to listen to the bass line. Right now the bass is a little bit low. I'm going to listen to the horns. The way the horns sound, it's sounding near a little ticking it up. Let's listen to the rock guitar. Probably a little bit of balance, and some of the scent needs to be EQ'd as well. So you gotta assess your instinct here, because you want that big modern punchy sound. So let's start off with the drum, and I'm gonna go to the bass here for the sake of the tutorial here, and I'm gonna bring up the virtual rack from Slate, and I'm gonna be punching up some input here, so I can get some volume here. I'm gonna color it about 7-8%. Now this bass might sound terrible, but we're gonna do some stuff to it. Let's play it back. And I'm gonna go down, let's go to the SSL EQ here. I'm gonna do some roll off so it doesn't get in the way of the kick drum here. Maybe about to let's hear what the drums sound like. Do some parallel compression with the drum here. Now let's come back to the bass here. I'm going to go down to about 60 kilohertz. Let's see how that sounds. I'm going to roll off a little bit of 400. And I want to shorten up the release here, so I'm going to use some smack attack here, because I want the bass to be a little bit punchy. Yeah, sounds better. little bit of boost here. Now I need to swell up this bass a little bit here, so let's try something to articulate the bottom end. We have the trimmer, we have the mix bus. Let's try the FG Bomber. Try to drive. Okay, I'm not going to use a drummer. The bomber, I'm going to use a little bit of R bass here from Waves, because I want to get some simulated bottom end here. I'm going to come back to the EQ. Hear a little bit of resonance there, so I'm going to go to the Pro Q here. I'm going to use a clean EQ. Now let's bring in the silent here. Maybe a slight little roll off. Go on the drum bus here. I'm going to pull up the F6. Do a little bit of roll off here. I'm going to do a little boost. And check this out. Right now my drums is kind of peaking there, so I want to pull back. So to fix that problem there, I'm gonna pull up the input controls right at the top here. I'm gonna bring it down. Leave it at 0. Let's take it back up a little bit. Let's go to the gain. I'm gonna use a little bit of NLS here, and this is I'm doing all this by instinct, guys. Add some more character to the drums. Making it sound loud without making it loud. Let's bring in the silent. Bring in the horns. Now what I'm hearing here, the drums are a little bit quiet here, so I'm going to bring up the output. And notice I'm not even hitting the wall here with the plug. I'm not going in the red. Now let's tend to the horn section here. I need some clarity, I need some punch. So I'm gonna turn up the SSL here. I need some LNS as well. I'm gonna need some serious analog saturation here. Now we're getting somewhere. A little bit of EQ. I'm gonna try a little bit of mid-lows here. A little bit of reverb. I'm gonna send it to the doubler here. Bring in the bass line. Bass line a little bit nasty. I'm gonna do some drastic EQ here. About right. Let's bring in a rock guitar now. So a little bit of EQ to the top end. Let's go back to the drums here. We want to make sure we don't go overboard here, so I'm going to do some gain staging adjustment here. I'm going to rebalance the instrument slightly. Let's bring back the bass in. Knock out some mid-range here. I'm gonna bring in the silent. I'm gonna ride the fader up. Rock guitars. So a little bit of compression here on power compression. So there we have it. What did we learn today? We learned that although we were getting some volume from the drums, we needed to reshape it because we were hitting the red lights on the plug-in, so we didn't want to distort, so we took it down about negative 5 dB on the input here, so it doesn't blow out the plug-in there on the red to distort. And by making the drum quieter, we had to bring down the rest of the instruments. And so we balanced it off with the silent here. Let's go into drums itself. I'm gonna bring up the P5 because I need a little more snare. And then we brought in the virtual mix track to get some volume on the bass, and we did a little bit of EQ, knocking out some mid-range from the bass. A little bit of cut as well, close to 80 hertz. We let a little bit of R bass, gonna need some more bottom end and a little bit of more drastic EQ. And we slightly tucked the bass underneath the kick drums. And the horn section, we did some LNS here to get some analog flavor. A little bit of high end. A little bit of slight compression. So the horn's got more body on it. By a little bit of 174 here, about 5 dB. And we brought in the rock guitar. Some low end roll off, a little bit of compression. So that's what we learned about the instinct of mixing. You gotta assess what your session needs. Don't make your plugins hit the red because it's gonna mess up your mix. Although it might don't sound bad, but overall, all these distort plugins going in the red are gonna add a little bit of distortion color to your mix that you don't want. And we did a little bit of mastering here. I'm gonna type in like about 120 and a little bit of a roll off about 30 there. And then we have a nice, a pretty decent mix here. So that's what I want to show you about the killer instinct of mixing. You got to know there's no set dial you can dial on these plugins. You got to go by feel, according to the genre, what you're feeling. There's no set preset. Although this thing packs presets here, a lot of presets, they might, chances are that they might not work on your particular session. And they're a good start, but they might not work. So you got to do your own. So, support me, guys. Remember to hit me up on Pristine Production on YouTube. Check out my new music video. If you want me to mix and master for you, you can send me an email. I'm only going to charge you 150 US. That's going to be 100 US for the mixing, and for the mastering 50 US. So 150 US. You can't go wrong for one song. So hit me up, guys. You want that international sound to your mix, whether you're doing an album. So I'm going to catch you on the next.